Okay, part two. So we're getting the profit while the quantity is greater than 0. That means while we have stock still to sell, we have a question to ask, and that is, are we going to sell more than just the stocks from the first item in the queue, or are we going to sell only from the first item in the queue? And this question is going to be asked over and over again until it is only the first one. And the way we're going to ask it is if the quantity, that is what we're trying to sell, is greater than or equal to self.stockQ, and this is where we're going to use the first function from the ArrayQueue. Now, what that's going to give us, unfortunately, is a transaction object, because what's in the queue is a transaction object. So we don't just want this, but rather the quantity from this, because we want to compare it to that quantity. So that is if the quantity to be sold is greater than the quantity on hand of the first in line. So it's actually greater than or equal to. But I'm not sure it works. I feel like this should be wrong. It should just be strictly greater than. But I have it right, or it works. So let us see. Oh, because we'll get there. I'll remind me. Let's calculate the profit. The profit equals, and we're not going to call it this profit, we'll add this to it, but the profit equals, work with me here, it's price minus, so it's the price that we're selling it minus the price that we bought it at. And again, or for the first time, we're only selling at one price because we're only selling the quantity in one transaction pair. We might sell more after we proceed, but at this instance we're only selling one quantity, one price. Okay, so this looks ugly, but it's not that bad. It's the price times the price difference times the quantity. So this is the price that we're selling at minus the price of the first in line that we bought most not most recently, the longest ago, times the quantity that we're selling. And again, we're selling because we are selling all of it or more than all of it. All that we want to sell at this point is all of the first one. We might have to go back into this loop to the other part, but at this point all we're selling is all of the current quantity. Now also we want to increment the total profit, and this could be negative, but the total profit we're going to add to it this amount, and we're also going, that was this profit up here, we're also going to add this made up profit for the individual sale. Profit. This one, which is the value that we're going to end up returning, because we need to, for this assignment, have it return the value of the individual sale. Now we're going to decrease the quantity by the whole amount. we're going to decrease the quantity, basically say that we've sold it. So the quantity is going to get closer to 0, but it's not necessarily going to get to 0. And the next thing we want to do is use the ArrayQueue's DQ. This is our ArrayQueue stock queue, and the DQ, because we've sold all of the first in line, which is what we determined here, we want to DQ it. We want it to no longer be the first in line. So that gets rid of the first in line. The other possibility is that we're not selling all of the first in line. We need to be careful. We don't want to get rid of it, but we do want to calculate the profit. We want to decrease the quantity of the first in line, and we want to calculate the profit. Okay. The profit, the made up profit we're just making up now, is the same. Price minus self, the price of the first in line. But this time it's not times the self quantity, it's times the quantity that we're selling, because we're not selling all of it. So we don't want to, if we're selling 5 of the 10, we don't want to calculate the profit on selling all 10, we're only selling 5 in this else case. Now we want to increment total profit. Also, we want to increment the little underscore profit that we're going to be returning. And again, we need to return the individual profit, so it needs to be separate from the total profit, or the test case will fail. And the last thing we want to do, second to last thing, is we want to look at the first quantity, and we want to sell it. If we sold 5 of them, we don't want it to stay at 10. We want to decrease it by the amount that we've sold, which is quantity. In this case, it's less than the whole amount, because this else case, if it was all of it, we would have completely eliminated the first in line, and it would no longer be first in line. And the last thing we want to do is turn the quantity to 0, because we've now sold all that we want to sell. We could do quantity minus itself, but we just set it to 0, and this will exit the for loop. This will complete the sale, almost complete the sale. The last thing we want to do outside of the while loop is return this profit. Okay. And that's really irrelevant, but some of the tests won't work without it. Let's see. I believe that we're done. Again, or for the first time, this is made on Python 2.7. But let's run it and play with it for a second. X equals stock tracker. X buy 10 for $1. X buy 10 for $2. X sell 15, let's sell it for nothing. Nope, won't let us do that. X sell, let's sell none for 15. Nope. X sell 5 for $1. Should give us 0 profit, but it'll, x.get profit. Why is that so? Oh shoot, I have the price, so we sold 1. Let's switch that. We want them to be the same. Quantity, price. Let's try that again. Starting over. X buy 10 for $1. X buy 10 for $2. So now if we sell 15 for $3, we'll sell 10 for $2 profit each, so that's $20, and we'll sell 5 for $1 profit. So we should have $30 if we sell 15. I think. Maybe I did it wrong in my head. 20 and then 5. Yeah, that's right. So, and again, this is what we needed to return, which is why we needed to have the underscore this profit. We could have survived without it, but we wouldn't have this value. We'd still have the get profit, but the functions will fail. But the profit is let's sell another one for $10. So that individual profit is there. The get profit is a cumulative thing. Get quantity on hand. So that's that. Let's run the tester. Somewhere. So it passed. If you have questions, let me know. That's all.